Black Lives Matter. And I see that you have a Black Dreams Matter shirt on. I don't know if you want to touch in on that. Intertwine that with like the whole thing we were talking about earlier with like all lives matter and your perception on that. And then maybe since it's all about Black Lives Matter, maybe if you want to talk a little bit, I don't know if you could tie in the things about Starbucks, if that's something relevant to you. If it's not relevant, you don't have to bring it up. But just the Black Lives Matters and all lives matter. Like, what's your outlook on this stuff?
Here's my thing. The reason I did Black Dreams Matter is because I think you cannot disassociate the dream from the person, right? So I think, and I challenge people who believe that all Black lives matter to remember that those lives have dreams. And what do I mean by that? Is that in the Black community, we tell people to, or we encourage our youth to go to school so that they may learn a skill so that they can get a job in America. You know, and we would even raise funds for these children sometimes so that they can go to college. But once that person exit college, now his job is to execute his vision or idea or dream that he wants to now live out. But we have this idea that you're now on your own once this happened. So we fetishize our youth and their ideas and their vision and their dreams. But then once they exit this college, because we feel like that's the bar and that's the standard, once they exit this college, we no longer help them or advocate for their life whatsoever. You know, once that person exits college, they are only within that first step. So now they need to go start them a business, you know, or they need help still entering within this world because college only teaches so much. So this idea of Black Dream Matter is to remember that the dream is inseparable from the person life that matter. Plus, it makes you put value on a life while it's live and not when it's dead. Because I feel like the only time we pay attention and the only time we remember that the person next to us or our Black friend or this and that or Black lives and these statistics that happen every day around the world matter is when someone Black dies. You had the case with Alton Sterling, and imagine if it was just one case that had happened and not four. Would it have still received the public outcry that it did? When we've had all these deaths that happened all throughout the year, last year, in the last hundreds of years, as a stack of statistics to say that there's something wrong with the system of justice. Because the system of justice was never built to give us justice. It was always built to give us injustice, so we will always feel this suffering. We will always feel this distraction of oppression so that we can never feel free enough to empower ourselves confidently to go out there and live our dreams. As long as we worrying about fear and homicide of someone else killing us, then we're not chasing our dreams. We don't have Black assets in the Black community. We don't have Black ownership as far as the buildings. You have Black business owners, but do we own the buildings? Where's our Black banks and supermarkets? You know, we need our own Black produce. And why do I emphasize on Black, 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 Black? For one, I'm a very, very proud Asiatic Black man. But two, is that if you look at someone like the Chinese community who is able to govern their own community, and they have their own, even their own systems of sidewalks. They have their own businesses. Everything over there is Asian. They don't have to promote that Asian lives matter or Asian business matter, the Asian dollar matter. Why? Because they live their protests every single day by putting it back into the communities that matter, putting it back into their uncle's shop, their cousin's shop, their friend's shop. They help and promote each other. You know, so they know that their dreams matter because they help each other live their dreams, even within America. You know, it is only Black people who downsize the idea of coming together only when it is suffering. But we should come together regardless of what's going on. Even if the cops stop killing all Black people, that doesn't stop the idea that we still don't have any Black assets. That doesn't stop the fact that we still don't have Black ownership. So you telling me that If they stop killing us, then we will forgive them. That means that now they have created such a distraction for us that that's all we want now, is their homicidal tactics to stop from us. That means that we don't want anything of our own anymore because we are content with this idea since we've integrated within this burning house, and that comes from the speech of Martin Luther King. We've integrated within this burning house, and now we comfortable as long as we don't burn up, but we don't even own the house, We just kind of want the smoke to go away. But Black Dreams Matter encompasses the idea that we have to remember that the life matter while it's alive and not when it's dead. Stop waiting for sacrifices and martyrs for you to remember the country and the state of the country that we live in today. And the Starbucks thing, since you brought it up, I will speak on it in a second. I think it was a cool idea. Me, personally, the idea was that when you go to Starbucks, you tell them your name is Black Lives Matter. So they have to write it on the cup. And then when you get your, coffee black, that they have to say Black Lives Matter out loud, which, for people who want to do something, that's their part in creating that awareness in a society that these are things going on. Even if you're not talking about it, it shouldn't just be talked about by Black people. We should force the conversation everywhere, So I think it was a clever idea because I think that anything that goes towards the solution is a good idea. I think that there's a lot of things that are trendy because we now have moved into this sector where people love to go with the trends. We have mirror neurons. We see somebody else doing it and we see ourselves doing it, then we want to do it. So, I think that at the end of the day, we have to be less trendy and we have to really make it a lifestyle. We have to switch up our lifestyle so that we can stop feeling so marginalized and oppressed. But the only way to do that is to actually get you some power. And the only way to get you some power is to get you some ownership. And the quickest way to do that right now is to come together collectively and put your Black dollar together and create business and organization so that you're not protesting just in the streets, but you're protesting with your dollar. And then, therefore, this has a much longer lasting effect. When you own the communities around you, then you have much more respect within the community when the community owns it, But I think that as long as we occupy somebody else's community where we don't own the buildings, there will never be respect for that community. There will always be ghettos, and it'll always be the hood, And I think that's one of the biggest problems when you want to get to the genesis of the problem. But the solution is, Black dreams. It encompasses it all. But I think all lives matter is people ignorance. I think that's simply put. I think that you are battling racism and ignorance at its highest level right now. And it is forcing people to come out their shells of racism. So I believe that any one of your friends, any one of these celebrities, any one of these politicians that want to diminish your voice when you say that your life matter, because when you're saying Black life matter, you're telling people that your life matter. And what they're doing is they're trying to shout over you and say that no, all lives matter. So therefore it drowns out your voice. But why would you have a problem with me voicing that my life matters? And if all lives matter in your idea, then it should encompass that my life matters anyway. But the fact is, it's not the statement about lives matters, the statement that people don't believe that Black people's lives really have value, They only believe Black people's lives have value when it's attached to the societal whole because we were always meant to be slaves in this country. So they can't get with the idea that, what, all of a sudden Black lives matter? So you telling me they're no longer 3/5 of a human being? They are actually a whole person? We actually have to start treating them like a whole person? That's the sort of idea saying that Black people for a long time wanted an apology for slavery. Now they have to acknowledge that slavery actually happened and, products of slavery are, the white people that we deal with today. But at the end of the day, I really don't care whether you say all lives matter or not. That's a gift, because those are the people you should separate yourself from immediately. So be happy when somebody says all lives matter. Don't go debating them, don't go on the tangent. Just know that they have handed you a gift, and they have, sifted and started the process of elimination from people that you shouldn't be around in the first place.